Katt Williams just exposed the entire industry. He just spoke truth to power on a massive platform, 11 million views within 24 hours. And not only was he taking down multiple people with very strategic shots, but he was also exposing how this entire game works.
Katt Williams is out here exposing Hollywood. He's actually speaking some facts, exposing Hollywood for what they really are.
If you Diddy or whoever you is, TGJ, any of them, all lies will be exposed. That's all.
Katt Williams came into 2024 swinging. He sat down and did an interview with Shannon Sharpe, and he's not beating around the bush. He's just dropping names. Katt Williams is on a mission to call out what he sees as creepy behavior in the industry, and he's recently shown a spotlight on Oprah and Tyler Perry, accusing them of having a sinister agenda against black actors. Now, Oprah and Tyler Perry aren't strangers to these kinds of accusations, but it looks like things are getting pretty intense. People are straight up demanding that they be held accountable. Now, what exactly does Katt Williams have to spill about Oprah and Tyler Perry? Is there really a sinister agenda against black actors? A bunch of big names in the game have thrown shade at Oprah and Tyler Perry, claiming they're not acting in the best interests of black entertainers. The accusations include setting black actors up for public embarrassment, lowballing, and straight-up blacklisting. Instead of using their positions to uplift the black community, it seems like they're doing the opposite. What's kind of wild is, despite all this noise against them, Oprah and Tyler Perry haven't shown any remorse or tried to make amends. They're out here acting like they're untouchable, and Katt Williams is not vibing with that. You know how whistleblowers in the industry, like Katt, often get labeled as jealous, bitter, angry, or even crazy, right? But that hasn't stopped him from speaking up for what he believes is right. Katt Williams is no stranger to calling out nonsense in Hollywood, especially when it involves Oprah and Tyler Perry. He's been vocal about their shady moves to undermine the careers of black actors. It's low-key sad that people like Tyler Perry, who are supposed to be all about lifting others up, are catching heat for allegedly messing with black entertainers. Meanwhile, legends like Dave Chappelle and Katt Williams have been spilling the tea on this for ages. There have been a few stories circulating about Tyler Perry being this power-hungry dude willing to do whatever it takes to get things his way. Like, check this out. Brandon J went viral on TikTok, spilling the tea about Tyler Perry pressuring him into playing a gay character. Brandon got a gig on Perry's sitcom, Meet the Browns, but he claims Perry made last-minute script changes, totally disregarding the fact that they were supposed to shoot the entire episode in just one day.
But here's a story time about how filming Meet the Browns was the most stressful and hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I take 2 to 3 days to learn the entire script. On the day of filming, first thing we do is a table read. Mr. Perry comes in, everything changes. So we literally run the entire episode for him, and he hates it. Does that mean I have to learn a whole new script? Yes, that's what it means. Mr. Perry, on the spot, starts rewriting the entire script, and he's feeding me the lines to say, and the director is kind of standing on the side like, you better do it, because if not, they will fire you.
And if you thought that was the worst of it, here comes the kicker. Tyler Perry dropped a bomb by informing him that his character would be gay and have a crush on the person who made his high school life miserable.
Here is where the shoe hit the fan. So in the middle of Mr. Perry changing up the scenes, he says, you know, I want Jeffrey to be gay, and he has a crush on his. That's not what I auditioned for. What? We go on break. I'm sitting in my dressing room, and in walks the assistant director. I have an entire new script with all new lines, pages and pages and pages. I have an hour to learn this stuff.
Just imagine, this is just one person brave enough to spill their story. It makes you wonder what other cast and crew members might be going through, expected to shoot an entire episode in a single day. On another note, Tyler Perry has faced criticism that he's always got this agenda of sending the message that educated, successful black women automatically have a bitter, demanding, and unworthy disposition. When it comes to men, Tyler Perry's portrayals in his films often portray successful black men as either evil or uninterested in successful black women. Take Diary of a Mad Black Woman, for example, where the black woman, married to a successful black attorney, is subjected to physical and verbal mistreatment. Eventually, she's chased out of her home and replaced by a white woman. The successful black man is painted as naturally evil and filled with hate. In Daddy's Little Girls, the lead black woman is highly successful and beautiful, but she's given a bad attitude and is portrayed as having no man in her life. When she does find love, it's with her limo driver. A similar theme plays plays out in The Family That Prays, where the lead black woman, again highly successful and Ivy League educated, is married to a construction worker but ends up having an affair with a white boy. In I Can Do Bad All By Myself, the lead black woman finds love in the form of a jobless immigrant living in her basement. If you caught the haves and the have-nots, you might have noticed that characters were taken advantage of a bit too much. And let's not even get started on the Medea movies and how problematic they really are. So, Tyler Perry has been all about showcasing effeminate black men on screen. Like Katt Williams spilled the tea once about how black actors get pushed to wear dresses in their roles. And he pointed out how Kevin Hart rocked a dress on SNL. But Kevin didn't stress about it because people like Tyler Perry already paved that dress-wearing path.
You know, at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's House 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Katt Williams hinted before that stars like him and Dave Chappelle might not blow up like others because they're not joining secret societies and playing the game.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
He kind of suggested that people like Tyler Perry might have done some soul selling to hit the big leagues and are now holding others down. Even with all his success, some say Tyler Perry isn't spreading the love in Hollywood. People talk about him not sharing opportunities with other black creatives and maybe causing harm along the way. Some think maybe Tyler's projecting his own struggles onto others, and Katt totally sees that. We're cool with anyone being in the closet, but the fans are not vibing with the whole projecting fantasies and using them as excuses for messed up behavior, especially when it's someone big like Tyler Perry, who could be throwing out a positive influence, but, according to some, isn't doing much to change the game. Word on the street is that when Tyler Perry isn't throwing shade at black people in his movies, he's allegedly doing it in real life, teaming up with other Hollywood big shots. And Dave Chappelle and Katt Williams are spilling the tea that Monique got the short end of the stick in Tyler Perry's dealings, along with some Oprah drama. If there's one person who experienced firsthand Oprah's alleged sinister agenda against black actors, it's definitely Monique.
When I said, guys, I'm spending time with my family, I'm gonna pass. Now, when I make this statement, this is what happens when you don't go to the room. What Tyler Perry showed me, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate. When you don't do what we ask you to do, we'll take your livelihood. So for 8 years, my family has suffered and my career has suffered because what I would not allow those entities to do was bully me. And because I didn't allow the bullying to happen, this is now what I sit in.
To break it down, back in 2009, Monique had a press tour scheduled for the movie Precious, co-produced by Oprah and Tyler Perry. The plan was to capitalize on the Oscar hype surrounding Monique's nomination. The twist? They weren't going to pay her for the tour, and after the exhausting filming of the movie, Monique expressed that she'd rather stay home for some recovery time with her family. Seemed straightforward, right? Well, to Monique's surprise, a few weeks later, media stories started circulating about her being difficult to work with. From that point on, no one seemed eager to cast her in movies or shows, no matter how hard she was willing to work. Keep in mind, she even won an Oscar for her role in Precious, which should have been a career booster. Seeing all her effort going down the drain made Monique connect the dots, realizing someone was trying to bring her down. In a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Monique disclosed that Precious director Lee Daniels admitted she was blackballed for not playing the game. But this embarrassing and hurtful experience is just the tip of the iceberg. Oprah allegedly took advantage of Monique's vulnerability a few months after the press tour incident. Monique spilled the beans to Comedy Central about one major thing that messed up her relationship with Oprah. It all went down when Oprah invited Monique's brother Gerald and parents to her show. Now, for context, Monique's brother did something really messed up to her when she was just 7 to 11, and it's no secret. Monique had talked about it before in a 2008 interview.
It's a story that I've told, and the first time I told it was in Essence magazine when I did the cover, I think maybe a year ago. And I was molested as a kid by my oldest brother, Gerald. So when Lee Daniels called me and first told me about this movie, and he sent me the book. And I'm like, oh my God, Lee, what is this? And he said, when I say action to you, I need you to play a monster. So I remembered those moments with my brother Gerald, and he was a monster to me. So whenever he said action, I became that monster.
So during an intimate chat with Oprah, they got into talking about their relationships with their parents. Monique opened up about not speaking to her parents because of what went down with her brother and how her parents initially sided with him. You'd think after someone does you dirty like that, the least they could do is try to patch things up.
Where Oprah Winfrey and I have a problem is Oprah Winfrey called us up and she said my brother wanted to come on the show and talk about him molesting me, and he wanted to tell other parents how to look out for molesters. My brother Gerald is a charmer.
But as of today, Monique is still waiting for that apology.
Till that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth. Because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly.
If Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
Here's the kicker. Monique is just one in a lineup of celebrities who felt like Oprah slithered into their lives and took advantage of their friendship. And some people think Oprah's not just doing all this for her show. They believe she's playing a game to appeal to a specific audience that can give her power and access in the industry. It's like there's more to Oprah's moves than just what we see on the surface. In fact, Dave Chappelle himself has fallen victim to the shady maneuvers orchestrated by Tyler and Oprah. For those who remember, he bounced from the production of season 3 of Chappelle's show and took off to South Africa. Soon after, there were all these claims about him being mentally unstable and hooked on drugs. But Dave wasn't having it. He repeatedly shut down those claims, stating, I'm not crazy, I'm not smoking crack, I'm definitely stressed out. There were things that overwhelmed me, but not in the way that people are saying. Here's the kicker. He even said the same thing to Oprah. Big mistake. Turns out Oprah and Tyler Perry are cut from the same cloth. And Oprah, well, she only tried to make Dave look even crazier.
So what happened to Dave Chappelle? He's here today to talk about it in his first television interview. Please welcome Dave Chappelle. Fun. I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
Well, I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances that were coming with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It takes a while when you punch through to adjust to the atmosphere.
Oprah's got this thing where she's all about embarrassing guests on her show, especially if they're black actors. Case in point, Dave Chappelle, when he rolled up on her show and spilled about turning down a $50 million deal from Comedy Central because he wasn't going to sell out for the cash. Oprah tried to pull a move. She kept hitting him with questions, probably hoping he'd crack and admit he was crazy or something. It was like she was on a mission to make him second guess himself. Dave stood his ground though. No surrender, no embarrassment. He spilled the beans about a time he got asked to wear a dress for a movie, and it's a whole vibe. They had him starring alongside Martin Lawrence, but when Dave told the producers he wasn't feeling the dress vibe for the scene, they just wouldn't let up. They kept on pressing him, dropping names of other big shots who'd done the same and got rewarded.
Oh, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy.
But Dave wasn't having it. It wasn't about the dress itself being a problem. He just felt the industry was always trying to shove black artists into a corner, testing how far they'd go for success. The pressure kept coming, but Dave stood his ground and they finally got the message that he wasn't gonna budge. According to Dave, this whole experience was an eye-opener. It took being told to rock a dress for him to connect the dots and see how many other black men had been through the same kind of pressure. This just shows how some big big names like Tyler Perry and Oprah treat other black actors in the industry, and it's sad. The fans are loving Katt for standing up for what's right. I respect Katt for sticking up for what's right and exposing all this evil in Hollywood. And Katt is spot on. I've never cared for Tyler Perry and began to see through Oprah years ago. Power corrupts, and the love of money is the root of all evil. Do you think now that Katt Williams is exposing Oprah and Tyler left and right, people will start seeing them for who they truly are?